What's up, Full Ride Nation? Back for another one. All y'all that don't know me, Christopher, former D1 walk-on turn starter, here to help you guys with your basketball hopes and dreams, here for your daily motivational. Look, just got through doing a workout in the middle of losing this weight. So I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but I have to talk about, I saw the Nick Saban speaking to Congress about NIL, transfer portal, this, that, and the third, student athlete, and a great education, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to try to stay focused on this and not ramble and be all over the place. But I'm like, Nick Saban,
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
can you please stop? So a lot of the problem with this NIL thing is people assume that everybody who plays college basketball is going to get an NIL deal. And unfortunately, that's sadly not the way that this works. And I played Division I basketball.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled
I
again.
played Division II basketball, and I played junior college basketball in reverse order. I played JUCO. I went from JUCO to D2, and I went from D2 to D1. So I found it disingenuous that a lot of these, well, Nick Saban, I'm just going to speak of him, and how he's upset now that these major players, these major recruits and major prospects are now able to get NIL deals, as if this is a thing that has never happened before. There's no mistake that he's won that many championships. There's no mistake that he's won that many games. These are the things that they would do under the table, which gave them an advantage. So now when they say they're in the Wild Wild West, and no. The way that they did it before was the Wild Wild West, because there were no rules and there were no regulations. And they don't like the fact that there are now rules and regulations, and they can't just get away doing what they have been doing in the past. And so that's why I find it strange that he decided to now all of a sudden retire. And I hear the coaches talking about, well, yeah, to get a player now, it's going to cost you this, it's going to cost you that. Well, to get those players in the past, it's cost you this and it's cost you that. That's why historically, schools in the past with bigger boosters were able to get better players and have better teams and win more championships, because this stuff here was done in the dark. Now it's not done in the dark. And because I'll give you an example. I know a guy who played college basketball, and he was getting paid under the table. I had all brand new cars, because one of the boosters owned he owned a rental car dealership, like an Enterprise. And so all of the football and basketball players, he would rent them a car for $1 per month. They would get jobs in the summertime as pizza delivery guys, and they would make 1 or 2 deliveries a day, and they would get $1,000 or $2,000 tips. Someone would come in the gym during their practice or during their individual workout, drop money on the ground, and walk off. This is the way that you got paid in the past. And I'm not telling you what I heard, what I think. I'm telling you what I know as a fact. These are the ways that people got paid under the table. Such and such mom, we're going to give her a job as a secretary making $250,000 at a corporation or a company that a booster owns in order to bring her child in. See, these are the ways that people got paid. So there's no mistake. And as far as the next topic, as far as the transfer portal, I most definitely am a proponent of the transfer portal. But the biggest thing that I do see with the transfer portal is some of these kids are going to go in there, and I made a separate video about it, and commit suicide. And that's and you can go watch that video to talk about it. But let me explain to you the things that I like about the transfer portal. A lot of people who've never played college at a high level don't understand the type of people some of these coaches are. And I'm not saying all of them are this way, but there are so many of them that are this way, which is the reason why they had to have a transfer portal, because these coaches are so egregious that they will bring you into a school under false pretenses and lie to you. And once you get to this said institution, you're now stuck there, and they know it. And there is nothing that you can do to leave, because when I played To transfer into another Division I school, you would have to sit out 1 year. And if you transfer to another Division I school in the same conference, you would have to sit out 2 years. There was no COVID year. You had 5 years to do 4, which gave you 1 year of being hurt, red shirt, or what have you, in order to complete your 4 years. But after that, buddy, you're gone. So you didn't have time to worry about transferring. If you went to a school under false pretenses and the coach decided he's not going to play you, he's going to play you out of position, something that you're not that strong at, guess what you had to do? You had to suck it up and you had to deal with it. Back in the old days, a lot of these freshmen, they didn't get in the game. They knew going, they may have been lied to and say, hey, yeah, I'm going to play you. You'll be the first freshman that plays. Then you get there as a freshman, you riding the pine all year. You got to wait 2 to 3 years even seeing it court time. And there was absolutely nothing that you could do about it. So for those reasons, I'm glad there's a transfer portal, because it gives those kids that have been lied to, and I'm speaking from personal experience because it happened to me, who've been lied to, the opportunity to leave and go somewhere else with no penalty. When I went from JUCO to D2, didn't have to sit out. When I went D2 to D1, I had to sit out a year. That's a personal experience that happened to me personally. And if there was a transfer portal, I would not have had to sit out after my D2 year. And so I think that it's a very, very good thing. And as far as this student athlete thing, where they say, well, the players are getting this great education and that, I'm worried about the graduation rates and this kids transferring and the credits not going and all of this, and they transfer so many times they don't graduate. Well, I would challenge you to look at the graduation rates of all of these student athletes. And let's just be honest here. For those of you that have not played, the student is all lowercase and not even seen, and it's all athlete. I'm going to tell you, I saw the football team, and I saw the schedule that the football team had. And I kid you not, when I first got to FAU, the football team was just established. They didn't even play the first year that I was there. All they did was practice. Their first season was my second year at FAU. And that first year, those guys would get to practice at 12 and leave at 7 or 8 o'clock at night or later. Now, you tell me when they went to class. Okay? So, and most of the students, most of the athletes, they're already steered to a major where the athletic department has a connection with the professors to make sure that they pass. If you take a major that's outside of a college that they have control over, they'll basically tell you that's your problem. You didn't come here for that. You came here to be an athlete first. That's what you need to concern yourself with. If you want to be a Rhodes Scholar, then you need to get an academic scholarship. That's not what I heard. I'm telling you what I know, what I've experienced, because I graduated an engineering degree, and it was very, very difficult. I had no tutors. I had nothing to help me with my degree. And my coach basically told me, that ain't my problem. I can specifically remember I came back, I had a very, very hard test. It was discrete mathematics, as a matter of fact. That's probably the hardest class I ever took, discrete math. And I didn't do well on the test. I walked into practice, I was looking sad. I looked at the coach, and the coach looked at me and said, man, what's wrong with you? I said, man, I didn't do well on this test. I really feel bad about it. And he said, hey, man, listen, that's not my problem. You don't need to be worried about that right now. What you need to be focused on is what you're going to do within these lines. I don't care anything about that class. And it was at that moment I realized that, yeah, they don't care anything about the student part of this athlete. But you told my mom that I'm going to make sure he gets his education. I'm going to make sure that he graduates. I don't care if you don't pass that class. I don't care if you graduate. You need to focus on what you're going to do in these lines, in these 3 hours that you've been allotted for practice. So don't fall for the lie of, well, you're here and you're getting this great education, because that great education comes at a great cost. And a lot of these student athletes probably aren't even majoring in what they want to. And majority of them aren't graduating anyway, because they're doing just enough to get by. And that is what the schools are allowing. So And it's been a long video. I'm going to shut it down now. Full Ride Nation, y'all know the drill. Let's compete.